What's up, Commanders fans? Welcome back to Commanders HQ, where we bring you the latest and most exciting news about our Washington Commanders. Before we dive into today's huge story, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the 8 channel, and turn on those notifications so you never miss a breaking update. Now, let's talk about why Debo Samuel is the perfect fit for Washington, and how this move could reignite his career. After weeks of speculation, it's official. Debo Samuel is now a Washington Commander. The former San Francisco 49ers star is making his way to D.C., and while some are questioning his recent production, there are plenty of reasons to believe this is the perfect landing spot for him. Let's break it down. In 2021, Samuel was one of the most electric playmakers in the NFL, racking up 77 catches for 1,405 yards and 8 touchdowns. But since then, his numbers have declined. He hasn't hit 900 receiving yards in a season over the last 3 years, and last season was particularly rough. Just 51 receptions for 670 yards. That's a steep drop from his all-pro form. But context matters. Injuries to key teammates like Brandon Ayuk and Christian McCaffrey forced defenses to key in on Samuel, making his life much harder. Plus, he missed time himself, further stalling his production. So, is Debo done? Absolutely not. And here's why Washington is the perfect place for him to bounce back. First and foremost, the Commanders' offense isn't asking Samuel to be the go-to guy. He's stepping into a system alongside Terry McLaurin, a consistent 1,000-yard receiver, and Jahan Dotson, a promising young talent. Unlike in San Francisco, where he had to carry the load at times, Debo can thrive in a more flexible role here. And let's talk about offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury. Kingsbury loves designing creative ways to get the ball into the hands of his playmakers. We've seen how he maximized speed and versatility in previous stops. Imagine how he'll use Debo, jet sweeps, screen passes, and deep shots. The possibilities are endless. A huge part of what will make Debo successful in Washington is quarterback Jayden Daniels. The reigning NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year took the league by storm, leading the Commanders to an incredible 12-5 season, before their heartbreaking NFC Championship loss to the Eagles. Daniels' mobility and ability to extend plays will give Debo more opportunities to exploit mismatches. With Brock Purdy in San Francisco, there was always some uncertainty about how far he could take that offense. But Washington has made it. Clear they're all in on building a championship team around Daniels. That's what makes this move even smarter for the Commanders. They didn't have to give up a huge haul for Debo, just a 5th-round pick. This is a low-risk, high-reward move. If Debo finds his 2021 form, this offense becomes even more explosive. If he doesn't, Washington didn't mortgage its future to get him. It's a win-win scenario. Now let's shift gears a bit. If the Commanders are in win-now mode, could they make another blockbuster move? Former NFL linebacker Sean Merriman seems to think so. He recently mentioned that Myles Garrett would be the perfect addition to Washington's defense. Garrett has reportedly requested a trade from the Cleveland Browns, and with Washington having the cap space and need for an elite edge rusher, it makes sense. If the Commanders land Garrett, they immediately have one of the scariest defenses in the league. Imagine pairing Garrett with Jonathan Allen, Darren Payne, and Marshon Lattimore. That would be a nightmare for opposing offenses. While Washington is making major moves in free agency, they also have their eyes on the NFL draft. According to ESPN's Mel Kiper, the Commanders are interested in Maxwell Hairston, the fastest player at the NFL Scouting Combine. Hairston ran a blazing 4.28-second 40-yard dash and showed elite athleticism with a 39.5-inch vertical jump and a 10'9" broad jump. The Commanders need to shore up their secondary, especially after the Marshon Lattimore trade didn't work out as planned. Hairston's speed and ball-hawking skills could be exactly what Washington needs to take its defense to the next level. There's no doubt about it. Washington is going all in on this championship window, with Jayden Daniels still on his rookie contract. They've already added a dynamic playmaker in Debo Samuel. They could land a game-changing defender in Myles Garrett. And they're eyeing top talent in the draft. Fans, this is what we've been waiting for. A front office that's aggressive, smart, and willing to make the moves necessary to win now. It's an exciting time to be a Commanders fan. After weeks of speculation, Washington made it official. Debo Samuel is now a Commander. The team sent a 5th-round pick to San Francisco in exchange for the dynamic wide receiver, a deal that many analysts are calling an absolute steal. Samuel, who once dominated the league with his explosive versatility, will now line up alongside Terry McLaurin, giving quarterback Jaden Daniels another elite target. While Debo's production has dipped since his breakout 2021 season, where he racked up 1,105 receiving yards and 8 touchdowns, many believe that a fresh start in Washington could rejuvenate his career. For the Commanders, this move was all about maximizing their offensive firepower. Head coach Dan Quinn and offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury are clearly building an offense designed to be dynamic and unpredictable. With Daniels' ability to extend plays, McLaurin's reliability, and Samuel's unique skill set, this unit is shaping up to be one of the most exciting in the NFC. Of course, a big move like this doesn't happen without some controversy. Cowboys star Micah Parsons took to X, formerly Twitter, to share his thoughts, and let's just say he wasn't thrilled. Responding to a post from sports analyst R.J. Ochoa, Parsons had this to say: Washington picked up almost $22 million on Debo's contract this year. This legit doesn't correlate at all. Parsons' frustration is understandable. The Cowboys, one of Washington's biggest rivals, had their own wide receiver trade disaster last season when they gave up a 4th-round pick for Jonathan Mingo, a move that has yielded little return. Meanwhile, the Commanders acquired a proven star in Samuel for even less draft capital. But here's the thing: Parsons' complaint might not hold up. Washington currently ranks among the league leaders in salary cap space, meaning they can afford Samuel's contract without much issue. And while his cap hit is significant, the potential upside is massive. If Samuel returns to form, this trade will be a game changer for Washington. Let's talk about why this trade makes so much sense for the Commanders. A versatile playmaker. Debo isn't just a wide receiver, he's a weapon. His ability to line up in the slot, outside, and even in the backfield makes him a matchup nightmare for defenses. A perfect fit for Cliff Kingsbury's offense. Kingsbury is known for his creative play calling, and having a player like Debo opens up the playbook in ways we haven't seen before in Washington. Less pressure, more production. In San Francisco, Samuel was often asked to carry a huge workload, especially when Brandon Ayuk and Christian McCaffrey were injured. Now in Washington, he won't have to be the focal point every single snap. Terry McLaurin and Jahan Dotson are already proven threats. If Samuel can stay healthy and rediscover the form that made him a first-team All-Pro, this trade will go down as one of the biggest steals of the offseason. Washington isn't done yet. With one of the largest cap spaces in the NFL and the 29th overall pick in the draft, the Commanders are in a position to make even more game-changing moves. Rumors are already swirling about a potential trade for Cleveland Browns star pass rusher Myles Garrett. Adding an elite defensive player like Garrett would immediately make Washington a serious threat in the NFC. After giving up 55 points to the Eagles in the NFC Championship game, it's clear the Commanders need to bolster their pass rush and secondary to take the next step. Draft analyst Mel Kiper Jr. also linked Washington to Kentucky cornerback Maxwell Hairston in his latest mock draft. The fastest player at the NFL Combine, Hairston could be a great addition to help solidify Washington's secondary. In the end, this was a smart, calculated risk by GM Adam Peters. Washington gave up very little for a player with high upside. Even if Samuel doesn't return to his all-pro form, he's still an upgrade over what the Commanders had, and his presence alone will help open up the offense for McLaurin and Daniels. Meanwhile, Micah Parsons and the Cowboys, they're left watching two of their biggest rivals, the 49ers and Commanders, make moves to get better while Dallas stands still. Maybe Parsons should be asking Jerry Jones why the Cowboys aren't making their own aggressive moves this offseason. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Debo Samuel will return to his all-pro form in Washington? Should the Commanders go after Myles Garrett? And who do you think they should target in the draft? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Until next time, stay hyped, Commanders fans. Let's get that Super Bowl!